8 days ago, this stretch of pavement did not exist. Today, a driver is walking it completely alone, hours before anyone else even thinks to show up. Behind him, an aircraft carrier the size of a small city blocks out the sun. Beneath his feet sits a manhole cover, freshly welded shut. Somewhere past turn 5, there is a dip in the road that nobody has agreed how to take yet. He is not walking the line everyone will race on Sunday. He is searching for the one flaw that has not been fixed yet, the one nobody else has noticed. He is not worried about the corners everyone can see. He is worried about one thing that no simulator on Earth can show him. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why that single fear should worry every team in the garage, not just his own. This is the story behind NASCAR's newest and strangest gamble, the first ever Cup Series race on an active US military base. The Anduril 250 will run at Naval Base Coronado, timed around the 250th birthday of the United States. On paper, it should be the easiest sell in the sport's modern history. The layout stretches 16 turns across 3.4 miles, making it one of the longest road or street circuits in Cup Series history. Cars will pass within feet of the USS Carl Vinson through turns 3 and 4. This was built to be a celebration, a showcase of everything NASCAR wanted the world to see. Every press release this month has focused on the spectacle, not the surface underneath it. But while the league was busy selling the spectacle, one driver was quietly studying something nobody else was looking at. And what he found changes the entire conversation heading into Sunday. Before we go further, if this is your first time here, this channel is NASCAR Racing Central, and we are closing in on 1,000 subscribers. If breakdowns like this keep you informed before race day, hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment with your prediction for San Diego. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it takes 5 seconds. The driver is Shane Van Gisbergen. Before the track was even finished, SVG got an early walkthrough of the layout, and what he found was not reassuring. Shane Van Gisbergen said, "It's going to be really rough and technical." He compared the surface to Sebring, a circuit known across motorsport not for being difficult to drive, but for physically breaking cars apart. That comparison alone should have been the headline. Instead, SVG went further. In a team release this week, he laid out the real source of his concern, and it was not the corners at all. Shane Van Gisbergen said, "It's going to be very bumpy, so it's all about the car then." Read that line again. It is all about the car. Not the driver. Not the strategy. The machine underneath him. This is not one driver talking himself up before a big weekend. Veteran insider Jeff Gluck toured the site in person and came back with the same warning, almost word for word. Jeff Gluck said, "It's going to be rough, super bumpy." Two completely separate sources, describing the same unfinished racetrack, using nearly identical language days apart. Then Kevin Harvick added his own blunt assessment circulating this week, calling the course an absolute handful for the drivers. 3 voices. Same conclusion. Something about this track is not behaving the way a finished street course should, and nobody outside the garage knows exactly how far that problem actually goes. Here is the part that turns concern into something far more serious. NASCAR has had to weld down 150 manhole covers across the layout. Crews have spent the week smoothing over old crane rails that were originally installed to repair Navy ships, not to host stock cars at racing speed. There is a drainage dip just past turn 5 that drivers will have to choose to attack from the inside or the outside, because nobody has determined the safer line yet. Ross Chastain summed up the chaos as it was happening in real time. Ross Chastain said, "They are literally still paving sections of the track." Every other street course in NASCAR history has had pavement that existed, at minimum, before race week began. This one is being finished as teams arrive to race on it, which means even the drivers who walked the track this week are not seeing the exact surface they will race on Sunday. That is the hidden danger SVG picked up on before anyone else, not a blind corner, not a wall, but a surface that nobody, including him, has actually raced on. And that single detail is the reason everything that follows matters so much. That uncertainty creates a second problem, and it threatens the sport's biggest teams more than anyone wants to admit. Every elite operation in the garage relies on simulation data as its primary weapon heading into a new track, often spending weeks building a virtual model before a car ever turns a wheel in person. At San Diego, that weapon may be completely useless. Three-time champion Joey Logano cast doubt on it himself. Joey Logano said, "It doesn't make you more comfortable. Nobody has even seen where the real walls and tire bundles will sit once the track is finished, which means hours of simulator preparation could be built on a layout that will not match race day at all." Chase Briscoe admitted this might be the hardest simulator preparation of his entire career, switching driving techniques from corner to corner just to find a rhythm that holds. Chase Briscoe said, "If a guy's not put in the time, they are going to get exposed." That single word, exposed, sits at the emotional center of this entire weekend. William Byron needed nearly an hour in the simulator just to memorize which turn followed the next one. William Byron said, "The middle of the course is very difficult." And Michael McDowell, a veteran of street course racing, reduced the entire strategy down to one blunt rule. Michael McDowell said, "Just like any street course, don't hit the barriers." This is a 16-turn track, where a typical road course runs closer to 10, which means there are 6 more places for something to go wrong than drivers are used to managing in a single race. Ryan Preece has pointed out that simple stability over the bumps, what teams call ride quality, could decide the outcome before a single pass attempt is even made. And Ryan Blaney's comment this week confirms that no one in the field holds a real edge here, not the champions, not the rookies, not the teams with the biggest budgets. Ryan Blaney said, "Everyone's starting at zero there. For years, money and data have determined who wins in NASCAR. San Diego appears to erase that advantage overnight. If the surface behaves as unpredictably as SVG is warning, it will not be the favorites who benefit from the chaos. It will be whoever adapts the fastest with no data to rely on at all." And yet, despite everything he has said, SVG is the betting favorite at -160, with the next closest contender, Connor Zilisch, sitting all the way back at +650, a gap that is unusually wide for a track nobody has ever raced on. He is also riding the longest active top 5 road course streak in the Cup Series, 7 straight races, and he has won both of the last 2 times NASCAR debuted a brand new street or road venue, at Chicago in 2023 and Mexico City in 2025. That pattern is not a coincidence the rest of the garage can easily ignore. So here is the question worth sitting with before Sunday. If the driver most likely to win this race is also the one most publicly worried about what the track is hiding, does that make him more dangerous to the rest of the field, or does it mean he already knows something the rest of the garage has not figured out yet? Nobody will know the real answer until the green flag drops. Drop your prediction in the comments, share this with another NASCAR fan before Sunday's race, and if you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.